there, Kira here with another layout process video. I'm going to be scrapbooking this picture of my son Elliot, and he's just being smiley, happy guy like always. He's actually playing with like a bunch of noodles on the floor. He just spilled them all out on the floor from a bowl, and he just thinks it's hilarious because he's a baby and that's what they think is funny. So I decided to start out this layout. I started by fussy cutting this paper from the Catching Dreams collection, Maggie Holmes collection, and it had a bunch of frames on it. So I fussy cut all the frames out, and then I cut the insides out of the frames so they actually looked like frames, and then I backed them with pattern paper from the collection. Then from the ephemera pack there were a couple frames, from the chipboard stickers there was a couple frames, and from the thickers from this collection there were a few frames. So basically I just kind of took a bunch of frames that I liked together, and I made sort of like a gallery wall with this. I had seen something similar on Instagram, and actually Mary saw something similar, and then I found the picture on Instagram, and we're like, oh yeah, that's really cute. But it was like with wood veneer frames, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I want to do something like that, but not as busy. And then this turned out to be like one of the busiest layouts I've ever done. But I love how it came out, so I'm really happy with the end result, and I think it looks really good. So I have all the frames kind of in place where I want them, and now I'm kind of just picking like little embellishments from the thickers and the puffy stickers, and just kind of placing them where I think that they need a little something extra. Sometimes I put like something in the frame, or like on top of the frame. I also fussy cut all those butterflies. There's a paper in the collection that's just a bunch of butterflies, and I fussy cut the entire paper. This collection is gorgeous, but the paper pad is amazing if you're a fussy cutter, and if you're cheap like me, where you don't like to buy a bunch of like ephemera packs and stuff, because basically every paper is like fussy cuttable, if that's a word. But because there's like butterflies, and there's a bird paper, and there's a bunch of floral papers, there's like banners that you can fussy cut. The entire collection just has a ton of fussy cut stuff that papers that you can fussy cut. So I really love that about this paper pad. So what I'm doing now is I've decided that I wanted to kind of add dimension to some of the frames, since obviously the chipboard frames have dimension, the thicker frames have dimension, so I kind of just wanted to add dimensions to some of the flat paper frames. So that's all I'm doing here is putting some up on some foam, and then everything that's a thicker got more glue because the thicker stuck and they don't want to stick on paper. So that's all I'm doing here as well. So I'm just gluing everything kind of down, but I'm not gluing it to the paper yet. I glue the butterflies down, but only down the middle of the butterfly, because I want the wings to kind of go up to create that shadow behind them, and makes it look like they're more real, and that they're not a part of the frame, but more like sitting on the frame. And I just wanted this to kind of be like a fun, happy, pretty layout. There's not really like anything with the layout that goes with the picture. Like I said, it's just a picture of my son Elliot smiling and being happy, and it just shows his personality perfectly, because he is just this happy. I know I say that every time I scrap a picture of him, but really, guys, he is like the happiest baby you'll ever meet. So I took this picture of him, and I just thought it just captured him perfectly. So I just wanted a layout that kind of represented the happiness that is my child. So that's what I have there. I have down at the bottom, you see that I used the thickers from the collection, and I put happy together, and I don't really know that I love that title, and so I actually changed it later on, but then what I changed it to is something I've actually used in the past. I changed it so it says happy guy, which is what we call our boys all the time, because they're always really happy guys, and so we say it all the time, which is probably why I came up with it. more than once for a layout title. But I know that if you watch a lot of my videos, you know that I'm not very good with coming up with titles. So it doesn't really surprise me that I would come up with a title I've come up with before. So yeah, it ends up being Happy Guy. But I kind of change it a few times to try and figure out like a title that I like. I don't know, maybe I should Pinterest scrapbook titles, because I am just really, really bad at coming up with scrapbook titles. Like, really bad. So now I'm just gluing everything down. I'm trying to kind of keep it, like, in the same place, but then things get kind of moved around. I have to, like, pull stuff up and lay it back down and whatever. It's not that big of a deal. It's just glue and paper, but... So that's pretty much everything for the most part of that layout. Well, I don't want to say the main part of the layout, because the picture is supposed to be the main part of the layout, but the decorative part of the layout. Oh, and I did get some messages from Mary. She was actually scrapbooking at the same time and wanted to know if she should keep a tag or add a tag or not. I told her no tag, in case you were wondering. And I don't remember what else I texted. I maybe sent her a picture of my layout so far. Anyways, so here I am. I'm taking the together off of the layout because I decided I don't like the idea of that title. And I decided to go for something different. But first I'm going to layer up my photo with some paper. So I just cut some paper so it's like a really thin border around the picture. Because like I said, this turns out being so busy and I don't want to take away too much from, see, I keep making it seem like the decoration or the embellishments are the main part of the layout, but it should be about my son. Anyways, I don't want to just like make it too busy on the bottom too, because like I said, it's already just like crazy busy right now. So I'm just gonna adhere those together, and then I think I try and figure out another title after I do this. So once I get the paper on the back of that picture, then I try and figure out where to place my title and what my title should actually be. And like I said earlier, I changed my title so it just says Happy Guy, but I do try out well, I think I tried out like one other thing before, but I was thinking of a couple other things, other titles that I could choose before I picked Happy Guy. And I was thinking, like, I thought like Best Kind of Happy was like my original thought. But then I thought that like it would look more like, because I was going to do best in one kind of thicker, kind of in another, and then the happy in that one. And so I thought that it would kind of look like kind of happy and not, I don't know. I just I just changed my mind. And then when I put the BE down for best, I was like, oh, maybe I could just have Be Happy. But then I didn't like really like how that was, and so then I was like, I think I'm just gonna go with Happy Guy, because that's what we call him all the time, is a happy guy, and didn't think like, oh, I've already used this in a title before, because I just didn't. So I'm gonna go ahead and do Happy Guy, but the placement of the letters I kind of fuss around with, and then I ended up like putting them kind of like part way on the happy, so Guy is a little bit higher than like the paper, I guess, if that makes sense. So then I end up like putting some pop dots on the back of some of the letters so that they're like not just hanging off of that word happy. So I don't think I make you watch me kind of fuss around with that, but that's what I end up doing in a second here, which is why those came out there. So going and just popping up a few of those letters so that they're even. And then I wanted to use another one of these butterflies down here. I thought about adding like some flowers down below too, but it just was too much, and I needed to leave a space for like the journaling. And then this little like heart was from the thicker set, and then here's my journaling, which I just typed up on my typewriter and then cut out in little strips, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. And then the last thing I do is, I think maybe the butterflies like need a little, like a little trail leading behind them. I don't know what you would call that. But I was like, oh, maybe I should do that. But I was really hesitant to, and I didn't want to like ruin the layout by doing it. So I did it in pencil first because I'm a bit chicken. And then I went back over it with pen. Once I got my journaling down, then I go ahead and use my pencil to kind of like make little like dotted line. And then I kind of look at it and was like, yeah, I think I kind of like that. And then I went over it with a black pen. So I didn't just leave it in pencil. It'll stand out a little bit more. But I am just a big chicken, so I didn't want to do it at first. But yeah, so once I get the pen down, that will pretty much finish off my layout. I hope you guys enjoyed this process. Like I said, this ended up being one of my favorite layouts that I've done. And I just think it's so perfect and pretty and happy. So yeah, that's it. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you again soon. Have a good day. Bye.